So, Cowboy Jim here. Uh, do you know that YouTube, they're still talking to me, which is rather surprising. And they say, ask your people to, ask the people who listen to you if they'll subscribe, so on and so on and so on. Oh, jeez. I've said if you don't hear anything intelligent coming from this old Irish guy, don't subscribe. It's a waste of breath. But if you do, do. It's kind of entertaining for me. Well, not the subject matter of when I've been trying to do the last 3 weeks a month, bit before actually. Yesterday and the day before, we had almost 50 went well, not quite, but 40, 50 people view my videos, which is it's I take it as quite a compliment. I mean, well, I do. Not like as though it's to my credit. Not like as though anything I said, is going to curtail the spinning of the earth. But I, 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 I just am so astounded, appalled that stuff can go on in this world now that we have the capability of access to information. Now, then we have to disseminate what information is correct, what is true, what is real, what is not, what is propaganda. And we listen to Putin and we say that's propaganda. We listen to Biden, Trudeau, the rest of the world leaders, and we say we hope that's not propaganda. But in great part it is. Because someone says, hey, a bear attacked and killed someone. Or my favorite, a mountain lion. Hey, but that bear and that mountain lion, or in my case, so many times, one of my horses kicked me. Oh, jeez. You see, that bear and that mountain lion, that horse, one big German mare, they were just being what they are. Putin is just being what he is. Oh, now he's purging his own country. Last I heard, about 3, 4, 5 days ago, he had arrested 15,000 people in Russia who were protesting. I won't ever forget that little girl who stepped up on the television screen behind the lady who was the announcer, and she said, "No war. What you're being told is a lie. It's not right." And I agree with her. Within my limited understanding, I agree with her. And you, in your understanding, she's probably a lot more in depth than an old Irish guy. You're ascertaining, well, what is the truth? Scripture indicates that the truth will set you free. But it will only set you free if you understand it. What constitutes truth? One of the guys in authority, I think, oh geez, I'll try not to go beyond the depth that I can keep my head above the water. Christ was asked while he was in the custody of the Romans, he was asked, "What is truth?" And Jesus had answered that already. He said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." I believe he is. I truly do. How does that impact you and I? Well, it doesn't. And yet it does. Because Scripture indicates that we will be judged, premised not just on what we have done, not just what we have spoken, but on what we have thought. So if you deem what is going on in the Ukraine and Russia and the NATO countries, Poland, Iran, oh geez, those little guys, they just are itching to kill all Israel and to kill the great Satan, exemplified really by Biden's BS in the Democratic Party down in the States and every other liberal party in the world, I think. Well, I don't know. Shoot. It's my thought. And but we're sitting back. We're trying to assess. Well, what do I believe? In whom can I put my trust? What does my trust mean? What value is my trust to anyone, or even to me? Well, it's a core understanding of the difference between right and wrong. Does that matter? Well, if you have been on the receiving end of those in leadership on a small scale, right and wrong really does matter. But it's not going to matter a whole lot unless you're politically correct, unless you're acceptable to those in leadership. So if you are acceptable to those in leadership and the leadership is going in the wrong direction, then you too are going in the wrong direction. How can we avoid that sort of nonsense? Well, we can analyze what is happening. We can study what is available to us. We can look at the news. We can say, well, this does not sound true. This sounds like it's processed hay out the tail end of a horse. Or we can say, hey, this might be true. You look at people willing to lay their lives down for a cause that is greater than themselves. Well, I've spoken of that quite a bit. Ukrainian people, what do they want? Well, they just want to live their own blessed lives the way they deem it as being correct for them. And we have other people in the world, Putin, Xi Jinping or Xi Jinping, whatever. And both those guys have game plans. And both those guys are in cahoots one with another. Putin has he went to the Olympic Games, and Xi Jinping says, don't invade, don't wreck my party, don't ruin the Olympics. Well, Putin wasn't in a big rush anyways. Well, he may well have been smarter if he had invaded then, because now the ground is getting soft over there in and around the Ukraine because it's spring. And everything is getting stuck. Oh, isn't that unbelievable? Now, okay, let's screw up your day and mine. Our lives, perhaps. Yours, mine, our children. I don't want my grandchildren going over to the Ukraine, over to Europe to fight, because some idiot politician has said, "Oh, this is what we have to do." No, it's not what we have to do. If we had leadership like Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, Stephen Harper in Canada, the help that the Ukrainian people want would not be as Biden offered. He phoned Lewinsky and said, I can send a plane for you. Man, you just jump on it and you just get out of Dodge. And Lewinsky said, I'm not leaving. Send ammo. Well, that's all they ask. Oh yeah, they ask for, a no-fly zone. Well, you would too if you were the leader of a country and your people were being killed indiscriminately with bombs and everything else. But I mean, if the leaders of the world, like Biden, like Trudeau, the NATO leaders of the world, they didn't need to drag their arses in all this. They didn't. Oh, a lot of people say what Putin said, just going down there to set our people free, the Ukrainian people. They just want to be liberated. No, they don't. Well, Putin said, well, there are Nazis down there. Well, there probably are. As evil as Nazi stuff was in the Second World War, and it was evil, particularly hard on Jewish people, 6 million. My ex-father-in-law, he was a Polish man. He was an acquaintance of Pope John Paul II. And when Pope John Paul II went to Mexico, my super intelligent father-in-law, he got in touch with the Vatican when he heard that Pope John Paul was making a visit to Mexico City, and he asked the Vatican. He said, I have a 5-star Polish restaurant downtown Mexico City. Would you allow me the privilege and the honor of cooking for the Pope? Well, the Vatican thought that was a great idea. My father-in-law cooked for the Pope. They grew up in the same part of Poland, same city. Father-in-law, Tadeusz Podborewski, he was the first man on earth to have penicillin given to him when he was shot down over the English Channel fighting for the Allied forces. And the 2 surgeons, my father-in-law, he told me, he said the 2 surgeons were standing beside his bed. He was burned terribly. And the one surgeon said, should we try that new stuff that they sent over from Canada? And the other surgeon said, well, might as well. This poor boy is dead anyways. And so they gave him penicillin. He was the first person. And he belonged to the Guinea Pig Society in England. And he liked me. He really did. And I didn't understand why. But he still had fun with me because he was so smart and he was so filthy rich. Oh my goodness. Go to Mexico and have a holiday with my father-in-law and you didn't pay for a thing because he wouldn't let you. I asked him one day, I said, would you mind terribly? I'd like to take a walk down into Cuernavaca. And I think that was the name of it. That's where his ranch was. He had a penthouse in Mexico City. Big. And servants. And big place. And but out at the ranch, I said, I'd like to take a walk. I said, you wouldn't mind. Do you have a, well, I said, do you have a 357 or a 44 mag? I prefer 44 mags. I said, I'd like to take a walk downtown. And avoid getting shot. There was another brother-in-law about 10 years earlier. He'd walked downtown. He was shot 3 times, once in the head. He lived, but he was a vegetable. But he lived. I thought, I don't even like vegetables. My father-in-law at age 83, he said, do you know, they don't like you shooting Mexicans. And I thought, oh, whoa. And he says, I'll walk with you and I'll protect you. And I thought, oh, geez, all things are really gone to hell. When an 83-year-old is going to be my bodyguard anyways here. And that was kind of a side story. So what are you going to do? Who are you going to believe? Why are you going to believe? Because you listen to all the information you can accrue, and you try to pick what is the most logical, what is the most reasonable. That could be a mistake, because logical and logic, reason, you wouldn't be talking about Biden's New World Order. It's really not his. But it is a New World Order because politicians have done everything in their power to destroy everything that was good within the confines of what we know as political endeavor, economic growth, democracy, and all those things. And people spew their lies. But you can't hide the truth behind what politicians say. Biden said, we're not going to buy any more oil from Russia. And NATO, they're kind of hedging that because Biden's still buying oil from Russia. Biden is paying $20 million a day to Putin for the oil that Biden thinks he needs. He doesn't need it. U.S. has plenty of their own. We, through the Keystone Pipeline, could pump a whole lot more oil down south. The U.S. under Trump, they were exporters of fossil fuels. Trump wanted to lay a little pipeline right over there to Europe and pump natural gas, liquefied natural gas over there. But that didn't meet the world order, the devastation that has to take place, in that the old order has to be killed off in order for the new order to take over. And so we struggle as a people. Well, what the hell is truth? What is truth? Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And we say, well, what does that mean? Well, think about it. Think about that. What does it mean? It means there's hope. There's hope beyond the hopelessness of lying politicians. There is hope. Well, where is that going to end up? In eternity? You're not going to live your way out of this earth. This earth is screwed because of the politicians who say one thing and do two others. Because their game plan is different. If they told you what their game plan was, you'd throw up. You would. Who would believe that a people could be so corrupt? Well, anyone who watches the news would believe that. Get to know. Decide for yourself. Don't put up with listening to other people dictate what you should and shouldn't do and what you should and shouldn't think. I've said, not a hope in hell we're going to get out of this alive. Well, we're not. There is no hope in hell, but there is in God. Pray for the Ukrainian people. Pray for those soldiers who are Russians. They need to get out of Dodge and quit this nonsense. It is nonsense. A new world order under the directorship of Joe Biden. Any other political leader other than, say, Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, Stephen Harper. Process A, children. It's a fact. Okay, already screwed the time. Hang in there. I'm going to take a break. What's Zelensky? God bless thee.